Flip My Florida Yard is brought to you by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Protecting Florida's environment starts with you. What you do in your yard can have an impact on the health of our environment and water resources.
Welcome to Flip My Florida Yard. On today's episode, we're heading to Fort Lauderdale, where we meet two divers who are diving into a Florida-friendly landscape. The problem is, they have no idea where to start.
We live right here on the water. Our lives revolve around the water.
On this episode, we cram a big flip into a small yard. Volunteers install over 700 plants.
Why so much mondo grass?
There's a lot of benefits. You don't have to mow it.
And a DIY project helping to bring back a once thriving plant in this area.
So this is a garden wall. They'll serve as a source of food for pollinators.
We feature a sleek deck install.
One thing I don't see are screw holes going through this wood.
We showcase plants that can thrive in shade.
This over here is one of my favorite plants to put in the landscape.
Then it's helpful tips on managing pests in your yard.
Every gardener runs into a pest problem. The key is knowing what to do about it.
We install a special driveway, allowing water to drain right into the aquifer.
It'll be the last driveway that you'll ever do. I can guarantee you that.
And then it's the big reveal.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Wow.
All this and more on Flip My Florida Yard.
We're knocking on doors.
So excited!
And flipping yards into beautiful Florida-friendly landscapes, and all in 8 hours.
Is this really happening?
Who's ready?
Organized chaos.
Experts show us how to use Florida-friendly landscaping principles.
Putting the right plant in the right place.
Water efficiently.
Very low maintenance.
Fertilize appropriately.
All leading up to a dramatic reveal.
The best surprise of our whole life.
We're here in beautiful Fort Lauderdale, and we're here to do one thing and one thing only: flip a yard. You guys ready to flip a yard? Hey, hey, hey! Come on out here. How we feeling?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Very excited.
We are the Stengel family.
But soon to be the Ferrara family. And we both dive, both into photography, and being right here close to the beach, I mean, we can go do little shore dives.
This house is waterfront property. It was built back in the 1950s.
Yeah, we love our backyard, but the front yard leaves something to be desired.
The driveway has been a problem since I moved in. It's asphalt, it's old, it's cracking. Every time that it rains, the water just sits on top of it. It always floods. It's a challenging area too because it's got this big, beautiful oak tree, but because it's full shade, trying to figure out what plants will work underneath there has been a struggle. The grass doesn't even grow. It's completely blank.
Florida-friendly landscaping is important to me because our lives revolve around the water. To have runoff and different things that are going to affect this waterway in a negative impact is just not our style.
One of my biggest hopes for this yard is that the people around us and anybody else who sees it will do the same thing.
Lisa, how you feeling?
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
You're gonna have your yard completely transformed, and it's gonna happen in 8 hours. Right, guys? We gotta get you out of here. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
James, Lisa, you guys know where you're going, right?
Leader River State Park.
You guys are gonna have an amazing time. We're gonna hang out in your front yard and do a little work while you're gone, okay?
Sounds good.
Get out of here. Oh, okay, the homeowners just left. You know what that means? We have 8 hours to flip this Florida yard. Who's ready? Yeah. Okay, ready, and go. Go, 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 go. Ha! Okay, let's get some perspective on James and Lisa's front yard here. First of all, this home, like a lot of homes in South Florida, is surrounded by water. Literally, the Atlantic Ocean is at the end of the street. So let's check this out here. We are putting in a brand new driveway for them. This was all asphalt. It's been removed, and this is gonna be one of our major projects we're gonna work on today. So one of the things we're dealing with is literally just this massive tree that's right here in their front yard. It's a live oak. It is shading, I would say, 90% of this front yard. You can see the grass here. It's pretty much non-existent. So the goal today is to bring in a lot of Florida-friendly plants that are gonna just do better in shade. This is gonna be a deck that's gonna come in right here. A small space, we've got a lot of volunteers, but a lot to do in 8 hours.
I caught up with flip designer Andy Turner from Serenoa Landscape Design to learn some of today's design features and challenges.
When you have a beautiful live oak like this, it's a lot better to keep the live oak than have that grassy yard. So we're gonna work with the oak tree, work with the shade. We're gonna use some Florida-friendly plants that thrive in the shade and have low water consumption.
Andy, let's talk about some of the major design features going in today.
Well, we have a lot of elements in the landscape. We've got a permeable driveway.
A new driveway system made up of permeable pavers is being installed today. This allows the water to pass between the pavers and into the ground, rather than flooding the driveway or flowing into nearby water bodies.
This driveway that we're installing is going to do a really good job of taking the water away from the house and then getting it down into the ground.
A raised deck will provide a nice vantage point to enjoy the yard and serve as a place to relax and entertain.
We've got a lot of different pollinator plants, native plants, tropical palms that are native to Florida.
Lastly, Andy's team is installing several green walls leading up to the front door. These are wood panels full of plants, including native orchids.
Working on a TV show is so much different than working in real life. We have all these different contractors on top of each other. It's a lot, but we're gonna try our best to get it done somehow.
Years ago, South Florida was covered in native orchids, and through poaching and through habitat loss, their populations have really greatly declined. So we're working to introduce native orchids back into the urban landscape.
Master gardener Rich Ackerman shows me how to make a green wall featuring a variety of plants, including native orchids.
So this is a garden wall. The idea is you get a bunch of plants together and mount them. They'll serve as a source of food for pollinators. There's a few things you need. You need an orchid mount that you can get at any orchid shop or a big box store. You need an orchid.
Yeah.
If you're gonna mount an orchid, it helps to have an orchid.
Yeah.
We use a coconut core to do a little padding.
Okay.
And you need attachment. We like to use sisal twine. It's organic and it will decompose after a few years.
Okay. Walk me through mounting the orchid onto the orchid mount there.
You wanna take your orchid with the exposed roots next to the mount.
Okay.
Cover the roots with your moss, and then you can use twine or zip tie, and you just tie it on like this.
Okay.
You want it to be very snug so it doesn't wiggle in the wind, because if it wiggles in the wind, the new root tips will break. The roots will spread out, and the whole mount will eventually be covered in roots. So I went through and picked all the plants we wanted, and we mounted them, and then it's like doing collage. You try to find the right growth habits, the right water needs, and get them all together on a frame and put them in a way that'll work together.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
So one thing homeowners can do to reduce the amount of pollutants that end up in our water bodies is capture the rain and keep it on their property.
Claire Lewis from the Florida Friendly Landscaping Program explains what green stormwater infrastructure is and ways we can use it in our yard to help Florida.
Green stormwater infrastructure is a way to deal with stormwater runoff and a way of keeping it on site and giving it a chance to infiltrate into the ground before it runs off and hits our stormwater system or water bodies. In our home landscapes, we have a lot of impervious surfaces. Those are things like our roof and our driveways, and water can't infiltrate through those surfaces. So one thing homeowners can do is they can build a rain garden. You look for a low spot in your yard, and then you can plant that with plants that can tolerate both flooding and drought conditions. Another thing homeowners can do is they can take their downspouts and point into their landscape beds. This has two purposes. It can water your landscape, and it helps to reduce stormwater runoff. So another option people can do in their home landscapes is to install a rain barrel. So by your downspout, you can install a rain barrel to capture that runoff, and then you can use that water to water the plants in your landscape. Some of the benefits of green stormwater infrastructure is that the plants themselves uptake the nutrients. It's also an aesthetic feature of your landscape where the plants can be really beautiful and attract wildlife, and it can also help reduce flooding. Reducing stormwater runoff is an important part of Florida-friendly landscaping, and green stormwater infrastructure can help.
Now, let's get back to the flip. For today's flip, we're highlighting 3 of the 9 principles: right plant, right place, recycling yard waste, and reducing stormwater runoff. I asked Broward County Extension Agent Lorna Bravo why the 9 Florida-friendly landscaping principles are so important.
What I love about those 9 principles is that it's really to set you up for success, and it's really to help you establish and maintain your landscape.
Right.
You know, Florida Friendly doesn't really have a look. It varies, right? But it's really about the long-term maintenance of the landscape, which is what we really need here in South Florida. In Florida, we have 67 counties, and each county has an extension agent. We collaborate and work with the research to be able to disseminate that information to our residents.
For so many people who want a Florida-friendly landscape, I mean, that's really where you start. You guys have resources and publications and websites. We just have a lot of work to do, right?
Oh my goodness, yes, let's get to it.
Okay, let's get a quick checkup on the yard here. A lot has happened in the last 3 hours. Well, first off, I found their star fruit tree, so I've been helping myself to that. But look at this deck. Really starting to take shape here. This is gonna be a really nice place for them just to kind of hang out. This is the very beginning of a rain garden. This is where a lot of that water is gonna make its way in the yard, and it's gonna go down instead of out into the street. We have our water feature about to go in. When you have this many plants to put in the ground, you gotta have some kind of auger making those holes for you. Check out our paver driveway system here. These guys are halfway done. This is that paver system. When these come together like that, that seam right there is what allows that water to go through, down into these rocks, down into our aquifer. We're making a lot of progress, still a lot to do. Everybody, this is like...
The driveway's been an issue for a long time. It always floods every time we get a downpour of rain, and it's Florida, so it rains a lot.
Urban areas have a high volume of concrete and asphalt that prevents rainwater from seeping directly into the aquifer. Instead, heavy rains push pollution from nearby developments, parking lots, and yards into local water bodies. This permeable driveway system will allow water to pass through the pavers as it slowly seeps into our aquifer.
Now we're standing on the finished product, right?
Exactly.
Robert Raypool from Pools, Palms, and Pavers talks to me about why this paver system is a good choice for this area.
This is a drainage paver. It's a thicker paver, has spacers on it that allows the water to go through.
We're seeing more of these in Florida. Why are these systems important, especially for South Florida?
City of Fort Lauderdale and all of South Florida is having problems with the water. They want to get it back into the ground, not sitting up on the streets or on driveways. And this solves that problem.
In this property, we're gonna enhance it through a permeable driveway pavers. These surfaces are gonna allow us to absorb all the water coming down and percolate and stays in the landscape, and it doesn't cause more of the flooding problems that we experience a lot in South Florida.
How different of an install is this versus a traditional pavered driveway?
Well, this takes twice the effort, twice the time.
Yeah.
As you see how thick it is, those diamond blades have to cut these. Each paver gets cut on the edges, and then we put a concrete border on the edge to hold everything tight so nothing shifts on the paver.
So a little more labor, a little more material, a little more cost, right?
It's a little more cost, but it lasts a lifetime once it's down, and it serves a purpose for the state of Florida that the water gets put back into the ground.
Can we be done by 4 o'clock?
We will be done 100% by 4 o'clock. So when Lisa and her fiance come here, they will be shocked.
Speaking of Lisa and James, let's see how they're doing at Oleta River State Park.
We're excited to meet the Stengel family today and give them the opportunity to explore the real Florida. You guys ready to go kayaking?
Absolutely.
It was beautiful weather, had fun kayaking.
So you could see how big the mangrove trees were, how thick they were. I don't think mangroves grow that quickly, so to be able to be next to that and see what Florida should look like was amazing. You almost forget that you're right next to downtown Miami.
Seeing how overdeveloped South Florida has gotten, and just to have little places like this is just great to go and get away to.
Oleta River State Park is all waterfront, and we live on a waterfront, so even though we're not right next to this state park, all the waterways are connected. So everything that happens at our yard affects a place just like this. Look at, there's even like a little beach up there.
It's hard to believe that they can actually finish this in 8 hours, so it'll be interesting to see what they came up with when we get back.
Yeah, they have some amazing time management skills if they can actually get everything complete.
To recycle yard waste, we're using leaves from the large oak tree to go underneath the flower beds. This is a great way to reuse material within the landscape. And it's Florida-friendly landscaping principle number 7, recycle yard waste.
Recycle yard waste is very important in South Florida. And this home is a perfect example with such a beautiful oak canopy tree. All those leaves can actually stay in the ground and we can repurpose them.
Why so much mondo grass?
It's one of my favorite plants, especially when you're gardening underneath the shade. There's a lot of benefits. You don't have to mow it. It outcompetes the weeds really good. It gives you some nice definition in the garden. It's a little bit more expensive on the front end.
Yeah.
But if you think about all the money you save not having to maintain it, this is a really good option. You do have to have shade, though.
Well, they have plenty of shade.
Yes, it gives it a really nice, clean look.
Over 600 of these. That's a lot of holes. This is an 8-hour flip.
Yeah.
Can we get all this in the ground?
We'll see. I don't know what we're gonna do. We have so much mondo to get in, and we still have probably at least a couple hundred plants to go.
Florida Association of Native Nurseries member Dennis DeZoo shows off some of the plants going in our yard today.
Talk about shade, growing plants in shade.
It's something that's very difficult for a lot of people to figure out. They assume always that plants need a lot of sun. We got a huge oak tree in the front yard. A lot of plants need to go in that can handle shade conditions.
Yeah.
And it's very important to make sure that those selections are made for proper shade growth.
Let's talk about some of those plants. What do we have here, Dennis?
So this plant is called railroad vine. It can handle minimal watering conditions.
And I noticed that we have this kind of growing on the other side of the driveway there where there is a little bit of sun.
It's very tolerant of all kinds of different conditions. It doesn't get high. It sprawls. It walks.
Good hardy plant here for South Florida?
Yes, extremely hardy plant.
What do we got here next?
So this specimen is called a giant walking iris. It's got some really amazing spires for texture.
And now where would you plant something like this in your landscape?
Well, you want to find a shady spot.
Okay.
You want to give it space. It can handle low water conditions. This over here is one of my favorite plants to put in the landscape. It's called a needle palm.
Needle palm. Where does it get its name?
So if you look at the base of the palm here, you got about 4 or 5 inches of needles that come out of there. The Native Americans used to use that for sewing. That's kind of where the name comes from. This particular palm, it can get to about 6 feet. It ranges all the way from South Florida into the Panhandle. And it can handle cold conditions, so it's a great tropical palm. This is a native Florida plant, and it really helps make you feel like you are in a Florida yard.
I can tell you love plants.
I love them.
Tony McClem from Hollywood Decks shows me a unique system for attaching deck boards.
Tony, looking around here, one thing I don't see are screw holes going through this wood.
You noticed.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So because this is Black Label Ipe, it's a phenomenal product. We love it, but we don't like the aesthetic look of a screw or any fastener that you can see.
Yeah.
So we're using the camo hidden fastener. These guys are in between the boards, they're in the grooves. It'll give you a nice, clean, finished look. And that way you don't have to see any of the fasteners. Here's how we install it. You gotta give it a try, Chad. You ready?
And so what's happening when I'm doing this?
So this is self-adjusting itself to the screw.
Yeah.
And once you drive down, the drill will also know when to stop.
Okay. That's incredible. And not one hole in this entire deck surface.
Such a smooth surface.
Today, we're putting in Ipe wood from the Black Label brand. Ipe is a sustainable product. The longevity is 50 years. So you only have to oil it and sand it maybe every 6 months. In an environment like this, you can go a lot longer than that. And best of all, it's the only wood that you can go barefoot under this environment and never feel that burn.
I see cracks here, so water is just going to go right through here, right?
Absolutely. The goal is for it to be able to function with the natural habitat that it's in. So the rain's going to go right through, and it's going to just function properly.
They're going to be here in about an hour. You
Not
feel
a
good?
problem.
They are going to be blown away by this beautiful deck.
Looking forward to it.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, Chad.
To bring the sound of water to the front yard, we're installing a large water feature. For installation, a hole was dug to fit the massive water basin. Rocks were added around the base, and electricity was run to the water fountain. This water feature will attract wildlife and provide the homeowners with the tranquil sound of water.
Oh! So that's that initial rush of water coming in here. Now this is filling up.
So now that there's water on top, you got this nice bubble.
Absolutely beautiful. I know we're going to finish up these rocks here a little bit, and then we're kind of done, right?
Yeah.
All right. Hand me one more bag there.
All right.
Sooner or later, every gardener runs into a pest problem. The key is knowing what to do about it. It's really important that you examine your landscape, or what we call scouting your landscape. You walk around, look at your plants, turn leaves over, see if you can figure out, are there holes, and if there are, what's making those holes, or what may be causing leaves to yellow. It's a good idea to have a hand lens, because that'll help you see if there are small insects that might be there, and that'll help you identify those problems. Once you've identified what the problem is, it's really important that you practice IPM, or integrated pest management. With integrated pest management, we can use pesticides, and in many cases, no treatment might be needed at all. But if we do have to use a chemical, we'll go ahead and use the least toxic products first. And that's where we'll use soaps and oils, these biorational type products that are a little more friendly to you and the environment. Now, if you have to apply a pesticide, we want to make sure that you're doing it safely. There are ready-to-use products available that make application really simple, and it avoids that mixing process. Now, you want to make sure you're reading the label of whatever product that you might be applying, whether it's a ready-to-use or a concentrate. The label is the law when we talk about pesticides. So it's really important you read these labels, and they can be somewhat long, but there's a lot of valuable information. It'll tell you how much to mix, and it'll tell you any safety equipment that you need to be wearing to be able to apply that pesticide safely. Pesticides can be a necessary tool in the landscape, but we just want to make sure we're using them safely to help protect us and our environment.
Let's get back to the flip. We're using a wheelbarrow full of water to test how quickly water absorbs into our new permeable driveway.
The water is going to absorb right down underneath into the storage area and dissolve into the land.
Okay. You were right. It's incredible. I mean, all of that water is gone.
It's gone.
And so Lisa and James aren't going to have any more flooding with this driveway.
Not at all here.
All right, sir. They are on their way. We got to get out of here and get ready.
Beautiful.
All right,
fantastic. All right.
This yard is officially flipped. Lisa, James.
Hello.
Oh, man. We've been working today.
Oh, man. I can't imagine.
Look, I hope you're going to like what we did all day long. I mean, over 50 people in this yard working. So excited to share this with you guys. I think you're gonna like what we put together here. Okay, but first, take the glasses on you here.
All right.
And grab you a pair.
I really hope they like this plan. I tried to make it as funky and nautical as I could to match their personalities.
So you guys kind of hold on to each other there. And I'm gonna guide you, James, here. And we're gonna start walking.
I haven't been nervous all day, and now that I have these glasses on, I'm quite nervous.
Bursting with anticipation and excitement.
Lisa, James, are you ready to see this yard?
So ready.
Yep.
Okay, when I count to 3, you're gonna take off your glasses. 1, 2, 3, remove your glasses.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Before, this yard was filled with non-beneficial grass and an old asphalt driveway. 8 hours later, we transformed this yard into a Florida-friendly landscape filled with over 700 plants and trees. We demoed their old, cracked asphalt driveway and replaced it with a permeable paver driveway system. This, along with our new rain garden, will reduce the homeowner's stormwater runoff. The new pathways will allow the homeowners to explore their new landscape. A new deck made of epay wood will act as a perch for the family to take it all in. Additional features include a fountain, art throughout the landscape, and green walls leading up to the front door. This new Florida-friendly landscape will attract wildlife, reduce stormwater runoff, and be an example of a yard that's in tune with the environment around it.
When I took my glasses off, I didn't even know where to look. It's the most creative lawn I've ever seen. I absolutely love it.
I couldn't have dreamt this up. It's just amazing.
How is this gonna change your lifestyle?
Oh my gosh, I can sit outside and not wonder what it's gonna look like.
Immediate good mood when I pull up in the driveway every day.
Let's give it up for this incredible crew that did this today.
So much. Thank you so much. Where do I start?
Yeah,
Start on this end.
I'll start over here.
I can't believe we're not gonna have to deal with flooding anymore. Before, with the asphalt, the water had nowhere to go. Now the water can come through, it has a place to go, it can go back down into the water table where it belongs. I'm so excited.
We wanted to honor you, the Silver Florida Friendly recognition, that you have a plant list of everything.
Awesome.
So, this is for you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. We're silver.
I want you to walk through here and take it all in.
This is so cool. Look at those little flowers. I love all the cootie.
There's so much,
This is one of my
so many
favorite
butterflies.
plants. I know, all the Untitled butterflies. I can't wait to just sit in the yard every day and just appreciate how amazing it is. We could do this every day. Wow.
Yeah, look at these.
Oh, that is beautiful. The orchids, the artwork, the deck, the driveway. I saw all of my favorite plants here. It's just, all of it's amazing. You don't want to fight nature. You want to live with it and be part of it. And this is exactly what Florida is supposed to look like.
Flip my Florida yard! That was a fun flip. And we wish Lisa and James much success and can't wait to hear about their new Florida-friendly landscaping journey. Well, that's our show. We hope you're inspired to help Florida's environment by starting in your own yard. And remember, everybody doing a little, well, that's a whole lot.
We're so excited to show you how our yard's been doing these last few months. All the plants have been growing in really nicely. We've even had some of the orchids bloom.
Yeah, we've really been enjoying this outside space a lot more than before. The deck was such a great addition, so it's really been a great change.
Thank you, Flip My Florida Yard.
Thank you.
Flip My Florida Yard is brought to you by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Protecting Florida's environment starts with you. What you do in your yard can have an impact on the health of our environment and water resources.